Welcome to our second grade chapel presentation. We will be telling the story of the 10 lepers who were healed by Jesus. This story is found in the book of Luke 17, verses 11 to 19. Enjoy the show. Traveling to Jerusalem one hot and dusty day, Jesus passed through Samaria as he went along his way. Samaria on one side, Galilee on another. There was no choice or road to take because there was no other. And entering a village that along the road he passed, he saw 10 lepers far away, standing in the grass. Their clothes were torn, their hair hung loose, their mouths could not be seen. But Jesus heard them yelling out, "Unclean, unclean, unclean!"
Their disease had left them hopeless. They lived a life of scorn, outcast in a colony, together and forlorn. To Jesus they could not come close, they didn't have a choice. All they could do was stand far off and loudly lift their voice.
They knew that it was Jesus who was passing through the town. They heard the fame of him and the miracle he had done. They waved their arm high in the air and cried loud, "Jesus, Master! Jesus, Master! Jesus, have mercy on us!" They lifted up their voices now as loudly as they could, not knowing if Jesus would come to them or if he even should. Their voices came to Jesus' ears. He turned around and saw 10 lepers standing far away according to the law. Jesus felt compassion. He knew these lepers had believed. So to the lepers Jesus said, "Go hurry to the priest." They hurried to the temple priest as fast as they could go. They knew that to be declared clean, they had to make a show. The priest would look them over while he had to really see that lonely outcast lepers they would now no longer be.
Immediately they checked themselves. Would their spots be gone? They looked for them all over but could not find even one. They checked their faces, hands, and arms, and underneath their clothes, but their skin was spotless from their heads down to their toes. They said to one another, So running to the temple priest as fast as they could go, they laughed and chanted loudly, "Are we lepers? No, no, no!" As they went to get no, hurrying into town, Jesus stood by and watched them, but they never turned around. And one of the 10, seeing his healing was complete, turning back to Jesus, wept and fell down at his feet. He looked up into Jesus' face, his smile from ear to ear, and loudly cried his thanks and praise, his eyes all full of tears. This leper was Samaritan, the no good kind. And Jesus answered, "Weren't there 10? Where are the other 9? They had gone ahead in selfishness, healed too, but rude. And Jesus sadly watched them go in their ingratitude.
But this one stranger showed his thanks to Jesus, now his friend, by coming back to thank him when he saw that he was cleansed. Jesus saw the stranger and the softness of his soul and said to him, "Go your way.